The Black Knight satellite theory has endured for decades. But while an orbiting satellite of extraterrestrial origin has never been confirmed, astronomers in 2017 delivered incontrovertible proof that they had tracked an object not of this solar system.
In 2017, the Pan-STARRS-1 telescope in Hawaii detected an unusual object with a trajectory suggesting it could have come from somewhere beyond this solar system.
The object was called Oumuamua, which in Hawaiian means scout or messenger from afar. The name was an apt description of the object, but being from another solar system wasn't the only unique thing about Oumuamua.
Only over the past decade, we were able to detect objects, the size of a football field, quite big, that came from outside the solar system. And the first one that we identified was Oumuamua, that I talk about in the book Extraterrestrial, and it was really weird. It was most likely flat. It was pushed away from the sun without showing any evaporation, any cometary tail. So I talk about the fact that I suggested it's artificial.
Oumuamua was described as cigar-shaped, an extreme oblong shape, whose dimensions are unlike anything we have discovered in our solar system.
The thing that makes this particular asteroid, if you want to call it that, unique is that it appeared to deliberately change course and have some kind of intelligent control as to where it was going and how it was traversing the solar system. This has sparked a lot of speculation that Oumuamua might be some sort of an alien craft.
Only over the past decade, we had the instruments allowing us to find equipment from other civilizations. So it's a relatively new frontier. And what I'm saying is the first three objects didn't look like the rocks we are used to in the solar system. So there is a clear message there that we should be open-minded and try to figure out what these objects are. But perhaps among them we will find technological relics, that we are not alone.
Oumuamua was difficult to study. Astronomers had mere hours to scan it. Scientists were able to lock telescopes on the object and saw no telltale signs that it was a comet or an asteroid. Theories from alien truth seekers postulate that Oumuamua is more like its name, a scout from afar, an alien probe sent from another civilization. If true, how did it find out about Earth? Why was it sent to our little solar system?
The problem with Oumuamua being an asteroid is that it's sped up for no apparent reason. Objects don't just start going faster without any means of propulsion.
Interesting, because the public, if you ask the public, about 60% of the public believes in extraterrestrial life, believes that we are not alone. And that's more than the fraction that believes in God, which is slightly less than 50%.
The idea that Oumuamua is some sort of alien probe is not exactly being accepted widely by the scientific community. But this is a very anomalous object, and it deserves study, and it deserves scrutiny, and it deserves people to have an open mind as to what it is. Avi Loeb may very well be correct that it is some sort of an artificial craft.
A second interstellar visitor was discovered in 2019 by amateur astronomer Gennady Borisov. Using a telescope he designed and built himself, Borisov discovered the satellite that took his name 30 kilometers from Earth. Oumuamua is already on its way out of the solar system. Its velocity was too great to be captured by the sun's gravity. The other objects we have found are similar in that they are just passing through. Will we ever be able to determine what Oumuamua was?
When scientists hear the words alien life, they cringe because it isn't an accepted field of study. We've only had the tools to find things that come from other solar systems in the last decade. If it isn't a comet and it isn't an asteroid, then what is it? Perhaps it is a light sail, an artificially made sail that uses solar wind for propulsion. It's now speeding away from us, and there's a good chance we may never see it again.
Oumuamua wasn't the only satellite to depart, leaving us with more questions than answers. But while the messenger from afar slipped off into the celestial sunset, the Black Knight's demise was more abrupt and much more dramatic. In 2017, vision surfaced on the internet of what many believe to be the fiery end of the Black Knight. Speculation was rampant about who was behind the famous satellite's destruction.
Most people don't think, to my knowledge, that it's still there. From what I understand, most people think it was shot down or just left. The Black Knight satellite may have realized that people of Earth are aware of it, or if it is from Earth, since so many people are aware of it, it's no longer cloaked, no longer secret. So maybe its purpose was no longer to be around. So maybe that's why it's not in orbit anymore.
But in the end, the potential destruction of the Black Knight raises as many questions as it answers. What was the object? What was its purpose? Who created it? And why was it destroyed?
If you're an alien species and you're trying to keep tabs on what's happening on planet Earth, or you want to get a closer look, or you want to monitor communications or whatever, the perfect way to do it would be to disguise this effort as some sort of natural phenomenon, such as an asteroid. Now, the reasons that they want to do this could be that all over the road. We don't really know what Earth means to any galactic species, but it does stand to reason that planets such as Earth that are rich in biodiversity, rich in DNA, uniquely positioned in the Goldilocks zone next to their sun, are probably, as far as galactic civilizations are concerned, a pretty valuable piece of real estate.
Since Guglielmo Marconi first developed radio communication in 1895, the Earth has been making noise out in space. In his groundbreaking book, Contact, astronomer Carl Sagan depicted first contact with alien life being opened with a rebroadcast of our first TV transmission. Ironically, this happens to be footage of Adolf Hitler opening the Berlin Olympic Games in 1936. Perhaps to outdo this embarrassing communication, in 1974 we made our first deliberate attempt to communicate with alien life. A radio signal was broadcast from the Arecibo radio telescope in Puerto Rico. It was a message in binary, put together by a group of scientists that included Carl Sagan himself. It was a powerful broadcast too. According to SETI, the emission was equivalent to a 20 trillion watt omnidirectional broadcast and would be detectable by a SETI experiment just about anywhere in the galaxy.
If only a fraction of those planets had life, then maybe there is some world out there like ours. They picked up what we've sent, and now they're just trying to figure out how to send something back.
In less than a century between Marconi's first radio and the Arecibo message. And every year, our planet has been getting noisier still.
Our radio waves have been blasting out for a while, but as they travel and propagate the universe, the intensity of the signals decrease, making it not only harder for an alien civilization to detect, but also to translate. But it does make sense that those waves might reach other planets.
If anyone out there is listening, then it can be only a matter of time before they finally hear the racket we continue to make. However, given the distances between Earth and other inhabitable planets, it is nearly impossible that these communications have reached another species. But would they need to? If a civilization is capable of building a satellite that lasts for thousands of years, or a cigar-shaped probe that can travel between solar systems, wouldn't they also be able to detect life on other planets without being asked?
There's theories out there that this is actually an alien probe that might be spying on Earth. In other words, They might be watching us from afar, not necessarily interfering with us, but seeing what we're doing secretly, just as if we were observing gorillas in the wild. We wouldn't necessarily go right in there. We might watch from a distance secretly to find out what exactly is going on.
They might choose not to respond for various reasons, such as not perceiving our signals, or a lack of interest, or having a non-interference policy.
And if we are being watched, why haven't we also been spoken to? Is it just that we lack the capacity to understand? Or are the people in communication keeping their conversation secret?
Another choice for an alien race is direct communication. They might attempt to establish communication using their own technology or visit our planet. They could also try indirect communication, like initiating contact through robotic probes.
For now, we can only theorize and question. Is there a Black Knight satellite watching us? Or an alien probe that looks like Oumuamua? These potential artificial machines have found us out of the endless vastness of space. How? Have our radio waves reached them? A beacon in the darkness? For now, we'll keep the airwaves open and hope someone can hear us.
Earth may not be ready for an encounter. We can't even get public funding to search the way we need to. If other planets hear us and have the capability to respond, they're already ahead of us. Maybe their governments are more open to extraterrestrials.